Assalamu alaikum. Restorative justice. Today we will talk about restorative justice. In today's session, we discuss restorative justice methodologies. Take a brief look about what is restorative justice. Restorative justice is an approach to criminal justice that emphasizes repairing the harm caused by criminal behavior through collaboration between offenders, victims, and communities. This approach seeks to address the root causes of criminal behavior and promote accountability and healing, rather than solely punishing offenders. Yesterday, we took an example of victim-offender mediation. Today, we are taking an example of community conferencing. Let's look the example of community conferencing. Okay, now take some other example. Community conferencing is the type of methodology. Okay. Yesterday we took victim offender mediation. Today's example is restorative circles. Restorative circles. In a restorative circle, students come together in a circle to discuss a conflict or harm that has occurred. The circle is facilitated by a trained facilitator who ensures that everyone has a chance to speak and that the conversation remains respectful and constructive. For example, if there is a conflict between two students, a restorative circle might be held to allow both students to share their perspectives and work towards a resolution. Restorative circles. In a restorative circle, students come together in a circle to discuss a conflict or harm that has occurred. The circle is facilitated by a trained facilitator. A trained facilitator who ensures that everyone has a chance to speak and that the conversation remains respectful and constructive. In restorative circles, a trained facilitator during conversation remains respectful and constructive. If there is a conflict between two students, a trained facilitator might be held to allow both students to share their perspectives and work towards a resolution. This is one of another example of restorative justice. Now come to today's topic, methodologies of restorative justice. Restorative justice involves several methodologies which vary depending on the context and the needs of the parties involved. Here are some of the most common methodologies used in restorative justice. Victim offender mediation, number 2, community conferencing, number 3, circles, number 4, family group conferencing, number 5, restorative justice panels. Victim offender mediation. We already discussed this as an example. This is a process in which the victim and offender meet face to face with the help of a trained mediator to discuss the offense, its impact on the victim, and ways to repair the harm caused. The goal is to help both parties reach a mutual understanding and agreement about how to move forward. Number 2 is community conferencing. This involves a meeting between the offender, victim, and members of the community who have been affected by the offense. Community conferencing. It's the other methodology is community conferencing. 3 pillars of a crime. offender, victim, and members of the community who have been affected by the offense. The goal is to develop a plan to repair the harm caused by the offense and to address the underlying issues that held to the offense. This is community conferencing. Our third methodology is circles. This is a group process that involves the offender, victim, and members of the community coming together to discuss the offense and its impact. The circle is facilitated by a trained facilitator who helps guide the discussion and ensures that everyone has a chance to speak. The third methodology is circles. First one is victim offender mediation. Second is community conferencing. Third is circles. Fourth is family group conferencing. This involves bringing together the offender, victim, and their families to discuss the offense and its impact on the families involved. The goal is to develop a plan for repairing the harm caused and to address any underlying issues that may have contributed to the offense. Family group conferencing. Fifth methodology is restorative justice panels. Restorative justice panels. This involves a group of trained volunteers who meet with the offender and victim to discuss the offense and its impact. The panel makes recommendations for repairing the harm caused by the offense and helps the parties involved develop a plan to move forward. Restorative justice panel. These are the 5 methodologies that we are discussing. Number 1 is victim offender mediation. Second one is community conferencing. Third one is circles. Fourth one is family group conferencing. Fifth one is restorative justice panels. These methodologies are designed to promote communication, understanding, and collaboration between the offenders, victim, and the community. They emphasize repairing the harm caused by the offense and addressing the underlying issues that may have contributed to the offense. The ultimate goal is to help the parties involved move forward in a positive and constructive way. All these 5 methodologies are designed to promote communication, understanding, collaboration between the offenders, victims, and the third one is community. They emphasize repairing the harm caused by the offense and addressing the underlying issues that may have contributed to the offense. The ultimate goal is to help the parties involved move forward in a positive and constructive way. This is the methodologies of restorative justice. Take another example, community conferencing. Community conferencing involves bringing together the offender, victim, and members of the community who have been affected by the offense. The goal is to develop a plan to repair the harm caused by the offense and to address the underlying issues that led to the offense. For example, if a group of students vandalize school property, a community conference might be held to discuss the impact of the vandalism on the school community and to develop a plan for repairing the damage and preventing future incidents. Fourth, another example is peacemaking circles. Peacemaking circles are similar to restorative circles, but they are rooted in indigenous traditions and emphasize healing and relationship building. For example, if there is a conflict between two students that has resulted in harm, a peacemaking circle might be held to allow the students to share their perspectives and work towards a resolution based on mutual understanding and respect. These examples demonstrate how restorative justice can be applied in various contexts, from individual conflicts between students to broader community harms. Restorative justice emphasizes repairing harm, promoting understanding and dialogue, and addressing the underlying issues that contribute to conflict and harm. In the next lecture, we will discuss literature review about restorative justice. Restorative justice is the another view of justice that is totally opposite to penalizing offenders. It will talk about the harm caused by the crime. It will talk about the repair. It will give directions to rehabilitation to the offenders, criminals, criminal behavior, deviant behavior, and non-mean. It helps to build society better. That's why it is very important to understand what is restorative justice. In today's world, it's the latest trend, and that trend is restorative justice. Restorative justice is present in many parts of the world, although the extent and form of its implementation can vary widely, depending on the legal and cultural context. I am repeating this again. Restorative justice is present in many parts of the world, although the extent and form of its implementation can vary widely, depending on the legal and cultural context. Restorative justice practices have been used in various countries and regions, including Canada, New Zealand, Australia, the United Kingdom, and some parts of the United States. In some places, restorative justice programs are integrated into the criminal justice system, while in others, they operate independently or in partnership with community organizations. Restorative justice has also been applied in diverse contexts beyond the criminal justice system, including in schools, workplaces, and healthcare settings. In these contexts, restorative justice practices aim to promote healing, reconciliation, and conflict resolution. Despite its growing popularity and potential benefits, restorative justice is not without its challenges and limitations. Implementing restorative justice practices requires significant resources, training, and community support, and can encounter resistance from those who prioritize punitive approaches to justice. Additionally, there may be cultural or systemic barriers that make it difficult to fully realize the potential of restorative justice in certain contexts. Overall, while restorative justice is not yet universally present in the world, it is increasingly recognized as a valuable and effective approach to justice that offers a more humanizing and transformative alternative to punitive measures. Overall, while restorative justice is not yet universally present in the world, it is increasingly recognized as a valuable and effective approach to justice that offers a more humanizing and transformative alternative to punitive measures. theocratical review of restorative justice. Theocratical. It is about theoretical. It is not theory, it's theocratical. Information on the religious origins of restorative justice and its relationship with theocracy. Restorative justice has roots in indigenous traditions and various religions, including Christianity, Judaism, and Islam. In some religious contexts, restorative justice is closely associated with the idea of forgiveness and the restoration of relationships between individuals and with God. In this sense, restorative justice can be seen as a theologically motivated approach to justice. Religious context associated the idea of forgiveness and the restoration of relationships between individuals and with God. However, it is important to note that restorative justice does not necessarily require a theocratic framework. Restorative justice provides practices can be implemented in secular context and do not depend on a religious or theological foundation. Restorative justice can be grounded in secular values such as empathy, community, and accountability, and can be implemented in a range of cultural and religious contexts. While restorative justice has religious origins and can be connected to theological perspectives on justice and forgiveness, it is not inherently theocratic and can be implemented in diverse cultural and religious contexts. Restorative justice can offer a holistic and transformative approach to justice that prioritizes the needs and perspectives of victims, offenders, and communities. In religious origins, restorative justice in religions, origins, context, ideas of forgiveness and the restoration of relationships between individuals and with God. This is one of the perspectives of restorative justice. Indigenous traditions, roots, and various religions. In various religions, restorative justice can be seen as a theologically motivated approach to justice. Thank you so much.